Hey guys, my name is Wes, and you're watching Wes Nichols TV, and today I'm doing something just a little bit different. It's almost Halloween, and people this time of year, they get really into horror. We watch a lot of scary movies, we watch, Halloween specials on TV, we tell spooky stories, we decorate our house to look like graveyards, stuff like that, and I love that. So I'm going to be telling you guys a true scary story from my life, one of the scariest nights in my life. And I'm going to tell you a 99% accurate account of this story. I'm going to say 99% because I am going to change the names of a couple of these small towns because the names of the towns are needed to be brought up for the story to make sense, but I don't want you guys to know where my dad lives because it's a very, very small town and that'd be odd. So I'm just going to change the names of the towns. If you can figure out what they're actually called, good for you. If not, just it lends to the story. But I'm going to give it 100% accurate to how much I remember, at least my account of this night. Before I talk about the night in particular, I have to go back a couple of years. There are two small events that really lend the credibility to the reason why we decided to drive around this town in the middle of the night and why he got so paranoid and why it freaked us out. So I started when I was 15, 16 years old, and me and my best friends at the time, Jake, we went on this long bike ride. I'm talking like 4 hours long. We left at like 6 p.m. It was late summer, so it was nice and warm, but it was still kind of getting dark and not too late. So it was like 8 o'clock when it would get dark, so we ended up getting home at just after dark. Well, we leave for this bike ride, and we go down one road, turn at a church, go up, and head north. We started north for a long time. We head north for about an hour. And things started to get weird when we got towards this town of Hampersfield. That's what I'm calling it. It's Hampersfield. It's not called Hampersfield. But the first thing that was kind of weird was we get to a graveyard. That's not the weird part. Graveyards are everywhere. Not even all that scary. It wasn't the well maintained graveyard, but it was a graveyard. Kind of surrounded by little patches of woods. Across the street, though, this is where it was kind of weird. Across the street from the graveyard is a taxidermy place. And it was not a nice looking house. It was like, oh, we also do taxidermy. It was like this really shoddy looking, really kind of dinged up, paint was all peeled off. There was a car there that looked like it had been driven, so somebody was living there still, but it looked like somebody hadn't been there in a long time at the same time. There's cages all over the place. I don't know if he was just like leaving these animals to live, to die, to make them, but the fact that it just seemed weird to me that a graveyard was right across the street from a taxidermy place. Obviously, that's probably the second or probably graveyard than taxidermy. But why would you want to put that right there? That just seems to me like, I don't know if this guy's like taking little strolls across the street, grabbing something, taking it home, and like, look at this crazy little Texas Chainsaw Massacre like chair I made. Anyways, that's the first thing. So we head down further down this road, and it's starting to get a little bit dark. My buddies at this point's like, let's head home. It's getting late, and he's a scaredy cat. That's nothing. So I'm like, let's keep going, let's keep going. So about 25 minutes later, he's like, no, let's turn. We make the agreement. Next road we see it turns to the left, we'll head home. Because we're going on basically a giant square. And so we see a road, and even though there's a road maybe a half mile down the road that has a blinking red light, so I know there's a main road crossing there, or a bigger road, we decide to turn down this tiny little dirt road. So we go down this road, about 5 minutes later we pass a car, and that's not weird, but the car was actually a hearse, like this rusty old hearse, driven by a middle-aged lady. She stares right at my friend. I thought it was funny. I was like, hey, and he was like, hell no, let's go. So at this point, he's pretty paranoid. I'm kind of paranoid. I think some things are weird. You don't see a hearse every day, especially an old rusty hearse, just being driven around, but whatever. So we ride our bikes, I guess not drive. We ride our bikes about another 15-25 minutes in the one direction, and we see it's a farmland, so there's a lot of farmland. But in one particular cornfield, there is a giant cross. I'm talking 15 to 25 feet tall in that area. It was a distance away, so I don't know the exact height of it. But then it seemed like it was like 8 to 12 feet, across on the one board. And it's just a giant cross. And I thought it was so strange. It's not like it was near a church or anything like that. It was just a giant cross in a cornfield. So I'm like, weird. Let's keep going. We get chased by a dog for a minute there. That was weird, but nothing crazy there. But we keep going down this road. We eventually turn on another side road because I guess it doesn't lead to the main road we were trying to get to. So we turn on another side road, and we end up seeing this brilliantly old, giant Victorian house. There's a bunch of like dead trees around it. It was very horror film. It was very like haunted house looking. I love the look of the house because I love horror things. But at the same time, I'll admit, I don't know if I want to stay the night in the house because it looked really freaky. There was gargoyles and stuff. It was cool but freaky. So we eventually get home. Long story short, we went on this big bike ride. There was a couple weird little freaky things around this town of Hampersfield. So we get back to my dad's house, and my aunt's babysitting my younger siblings. And so she's like, what took you guys so long? You guys were going on a bike ride. You were gone for like 4 hours. Where were you? And we're like, oh, we went to the town of Hampersfield. And she's like, what? And we were like, yeah, we just went down this road, down this road, down this road. We went to Hampersfield. You know, we thought we were getting pizza. We didn't have any money, so we went back here. And she's like, I was like, there's some weird stuff there. She's like, yeah, there's some weird stuff. You shouldn't have gone there. Why would you go there? We're like, we were just on a bike ride. We didn't know. And she's like, no, you shouldn't go there. There are devil worshippers who will live up there. And we're just like, what? And she's like, yeah. My extended family, she has a family member who was committed at one point. And I guess, I don't think it was a roommate, but somebody who was also committed at the same facility grew up in Hampersfield. And this is not 100% true. This is what I was told. She was raped by family members and then would give birth to the children, and the children would be then apparently sacrificed to, you know, downstairs. And I'm like, I'm 16 at this point, so I'm like hooked into this. I'm like, what? And she tells us this story and about all these other things and how it's pretty, I guess, wide known that if in the town of Hampersfield there are devil worshippers living. There's some weird stuff going on there. It should also be mentioned that when I was young, I was really into witches. Like, I just thought that was interesting stuff. Like, it's a real time thing. People thought witches were real. It might be real. I don't know. But in this county, it's one of the highest populated counties of modern day covens, I guess, of Wiccans and stuff like that, and throughout history, because Detroit used to be filled with witches, I guess, because it's all woodlands. And I guess at some point they migrated north up towards this county. My dad actually dated a Wiccan and who lived in the town that my dad lives in, and so I guess that added some credence to it. So you tell me this, I already knew what the witches thing, so I was like, what? And it's all making connections. And then years pass. Like, now I'm like 18 or 19 and I'm living with my mom, and that's down further south, like an hour south of where my dad lives. And my mom and my stepdad go to this place. They go to this fire thing. They basically watch a video of fire safety. They get a free steak and they come home, and all they have to do is have some person come out to the house, check our smoke detectors, check our carbon monoxide detector, say, okay, you guys are all safe. You guys should put a fire or a smoke detector here, and then you guys will be all good. So this lady comes out. She does just that. And my mom's making small talk, and she goes, well, how much further do you have to go home? And she goes, oh, about an hour. And she goes, where do you live? She goes, oh, Tommysville, and which is the town my dad lives in. And I'm like, oh, my dad lives there. You know, chit-chat. And I don't know why this clicked in my head at this particular day, but for some reason I had the urge to ask her. I was like, so, have you ever heard about these things? The devil worshippers live up in Hampersfield. I almost just said the name of the actual town. She goes, yeah, I know all about those, about the people. And I was like, all about them? She goes, well, I don't know all about them, but I know about a specific occurrence. And she tells me the story about how her husband, or her former husband, and her niece went on these bike rides. Whenever her niece would come up, they go on bike rides, and I guess there are trails through the woods that are around there. And so they go on these bike rides through trails. And I guess at one point they went through one particular trail up in Hampersfield, and it ended up leading to an opening in the woods. Basically, like, not a big like field, but like a small opened up area that had trees cut down. And the trees were cut in a formation of a circle, and each of them were cut into, there were 6 of them, and they were cut into like chairs. And then they had spikes towards the top of them, and each chair had deer's heads, like buck's heads with the horns or whatever on them, on each one. And then at the very center was a bigger tree that was cut clean off and had like burn marks, and it was like a ceremonial thing. And I'm just like, holy crap, because not only does that add to credence to what my aunt had told me about devil worshippers living up in the area, but it also added witchcraft, and I already knew all these witches apparently had lived in this area, so I just thought it was really, really interesting. So, I now, based in my head, growing up, not really growing up, but through teen years, and then now, I'm like, this area, there's something odd about it. I hadn't made the connection until a couple years later that we also live very close to petroglyphs, which are basically Indian carvings and paintings, stuff like that, and it's considered sacred land. It's, at one point you could go and look at them and stuff like that, but they've actually closed it completely off to any sort of visitation. You can't go look at them anymore. I saw them once when I was really young, but that's it. But it is apparently sacred land. It's supposed to be like, you know, really, really like a powerful area. And I find that interesting because there's not a lot of them around here. It's actually, I think, one of a very few in Michigan that are around there. So what were the odds that a town that's so close to, you know, this is known for devil worship, and the whole county area around it is known for having witches or Wiccans or whatever around in this area that's considered sacred. So that just adds, I was like, wow. So fast forward to 2 years ago. I'm now 22 years old, 21 years old. I am, you know, not as easily spooked as I used to be. I've been kind of desensitized due to my constant rotation of horror films that I watch. And I have my brothers living with me. I'm now living permanently at my dad's house at the time. And so my cousin comes up, one of my best friends comes up, and we all kind of decide, like, it's like 1 in the morning or midnight. We're like, let's go on a car ride, and we'll go through Hampersfield, and it's gonna be this freaky story. You know, we'll go freaked out and paranoid and stuff like that. So, admittedly, we were going for the sole purpose of getting scared, which is a lot easier to trick your mind when you're in that mind state. So, whatever, warned. We go up into this town, and we're driving around, and it's one of those moments where you kind of realize, like, it doesn't live up to the hype. Because when you're driving, it takes you 4 minutes, 5 minutes to get there. When you're on a bike, it takes you 25, an hour to get there. So we're there, we're driving around in circles. We see the party store, the only party store that has pizza, but it's closed. So we're like, oh, we'll go around the side roads. Don't get us freaked out. We'll try to find the side road that has the cross. I can't remember what the side road is. I remember that I could see the blinking light, so I tried to recreate that, but we can't find that side road. Maybe the cross was just taken down. I don't know. So, we do find the taxidermy place next across from the graveyard. The graveyard has really been let go at this point. That is my dog, by the way. It's Rocco. And now he's got his attention. He's fine. So, we're driving around, and we do eventually get semi-paranoid. We end up on this very small side road that gets very, 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 very narrow, to the point where the road just ends. Like, it doesn't say, like, dead end coming up, it just ends, which leads us to believe it's probably a farming road or something like that, and it leads to the end of this guy's property. But it was freaky because it now started to, it was a very, very clear night, and all of a sudden, the road was kind of like it was muddy. It was very mucky, and so we were like, how are we going to turn around? We got to turn around this area. We did get turned around, and we're trying to get home. But we decided, oh, let's go to the petroglyphs. We'll hop the fence or something. I don't think at the time we knew that it was closed down to anybody to go there. So we were like, we'll go to the petroglyphs. We're going to sit out there underneath the stars, get all, spiritual and stuff. So we go on right to the petroglyphs. Well, the petroglyphs are west of Hampersfield. And the road my dad lives on, it's a main road, meaning it's concrete for miles north. And so I'm like, well, I know for a fact we'll be getting close once we cross my dad's road. So we drive west on a side road, sure, but I know that until we cross this main road, we're not going to, get there. So we drive. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. We haven't crossed this road. We're not going 5 miles per hour. We're going about, 40 miles per hour on this dirt road. So we should have passed this road minutes ago. Another 5 minutes pass. Now people are trying to get restless. Well, let's just go home. I don't know where we're at. I know we should be in this rough area, but we should have crossed this road 10 minutes ago, not be waiting. We haven't turned. It's not like a road that was like winding. It was a straight on road that crosses this road. So we keep on driving. Eventually we do get to a main road. Here's where it gets kind of weird. The main road we got to is the main road after my dad's road. And I know what you're thinking. So you missed the road. You didn't notice it. You were looking, you were talking to somebody. You didn't. No, I was clearly paying attention. I was looking for stops. Every time we crossed the road, every time we, there was a sign nearby, I was looking for this road. It's a main road. You don't just pass. When you're on a dirt road, you feel the concrete for at least a minute there while you go back onto a dirt road. There was no concrete road. 100%, I'm for a fact know this. So we eventually turn off. We decide we can't go to the petrol station. He's too low on gas, and there's no gas station. This town, this whole area, gas stations shut down at like midnight. Like, you are out of gas, you're shoot out of luck. So we go and eventually get back to my house. And we left at around midnight. So imagine our surprise when we get home and it's the exact same time that we left, roughly, within minutes. And we're like, what? And it's freaking us out, a fair amount actually. And so we end up going up, we decide to watch a movie. We go upstairs, we watch Grave Encounters 2, I believe. It's a decent little, it's a lower budget horror film. Found footage, if that's your thing. But we decide we're going to go watch this movie. And when we do that, I have maybe once in the years I lived there had the power go out. But that was because of a thunderstorm or a power outage. It's a very clear night. So we end up, watching this movie. We're all up in my bedroom. We're watching this movie. Power goes out. That's weird. We look out. The other part of the house still electricity. So we go downstairs. We have a Michigan basement, so to actually turn the power on, we have to go outside and then around and into this very creepy, very almost Blair Witch Project-y looking basement. The whole one side of it leads to a crawl space, so it's opened up and there's dirt, so that's kind of unsettling, I guess, because it's not exactly level with where the floor is in the basement. It's like high up and then you have a little wall, then it's down. It's unsettling. It's a freaky looking basement to go in the middle of the night, especially when you're paranoid, which we were. So we end up turning the power on, and this is all of us guys. We're all like, you go first, you go first. We're gonna go in a group, and we all have one flashlight, and so we're all freaked out. We turn the power back on, we go back upstairs, we finish watching the movie. We try to finish watching the movie. About 10 minutes later, power goes out again. Keep in mind that, I'm kidding, just thinking about it actually. My dad's asleep downstairs. He's knocked out cold. We can actually hear him snore from upstairs in my room, and so we know he hasn't moved. All 4 of us who are in the house are in my room watching this movie. So there's nobody who could turn this on and off. So we then bicker back and forth again to go down. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this, actually. So we go back downstairs again. Bickering back and forth. You're going down the basement this time. You're going down. You go first. We don't know what the hell's going on. We went on a drive. We didn't pass what we should have passed. We passed this road. We shouldn't have passed this road. Time did not seem to run the way it should have ran. Like, we were gone for a fair amount of time, a couple hours, and minutes passed. We're now home. Power keeps going out. We don't know what's going on. Literally have no explanation for half the stuff that happened. Go downstairs, turn the power back on, run upstairs, watching the movie. Repeat this process 3 times. By the end of it, we were like freaking out. We were all in my room, doors closed, power was out. We waited till daylight was coming back up before we went to bed. Like, I could see the crack of daylight, and my room wasn't dark anymore. It was freaking us out. Next day we go downstairs talking about it, and the realization is daylight savings time kicked in, or whichever one it is, and we gained or lost an hour. Essentially, the clock switched back an hour, so we left at a certain time. We were gone for 2 hours, only less than an hour passed, basically, and it freaked us out. That was one thing. I'll give you that explanation for that one. That makes sense. The road passing thing still freaks me out. I feel like something happened there. I don't know. 2, no one has ever given me an explanation on why the power kept going out. It has never once happened again in the year and a half I lived there after that. Not once did it happen again. No one else was in the house that could have done it. My dad thought it was hilarious, but he swears to God it wasn't him. And I know it wasn't because I could hear him snoring the entire time. And you would have heard him stop snoring when he had to go outside, go in the basement. Plus we were closing the doors every time we came back inside, and you hear this loud-ass door when it shuts and opens. So, I have no idea who was messing with us, if somebody was messing with us, or if it was a spirit, or if it was some sort of weird thing going on. Anyways, that was my spooky story. I don't know how well it lives up to my memory, because I can visualize, I can see it. It freaks me out a little bit still. Telling it on a story like this, it might not live up. I just thought I would share it because it's almost Halloween, and could be fun. If you like this video, click the like button right over there. If you want to get more of my videos, mostly reviews, you can click the subscribe button right over there. It helps me out a lot. You can follow me on Twitter at WesNicholas14 to get any updates on what's going on in my life. If you want more spooky stories like these, I actually have some straight up ghost stories about the house that I grew up in. About a little girl ghost that I had seen multiple times that has made my friend cry. When we were like older teens, he cried like a baby in front of people because of this ghost. There's a tall man with a top hat, a very, very tall man. And there is a dark shadowy figure that used to hover around my teen bedroom. And we had things flying. We had some real, it's some freaky stuff. And that stuff actually scares me versus this one, which I think is more weird and just interesting because of the area. So if you want to see those, click the like button and let me know in the comment section. Share my video. My name is Wes. You're watching Wes Nicholas TV. Have a great night. Have a happy Halloween. Bye.